Welcome to Story Room. One room, many stories. Hello Rumis, we are here. Welcome back to the Story Room. One room
Creates many stories.
Yay! So in today's episode, we have three inspiring guests that will share their personal experiences with us. And today we would like to bring up a topic which is very relatable, especially from those that are female students.
Nah, hari ini kita bakal ngobrolin tentang isu yang sangat-sangat berdekatan nih dengan mahasiswa. Bagaimana sih rasanya dari mahasiswa ini tuh menghadapi diskriminasi? Apa sih tantangannya dan gimana sih cara mereka buat mengatasinya? Today episode will be not just story tapi juga eye opening dan juga empowering.
So Rumis, hari ini kita bakal bahas topik yang sangat sering terjadi ya di lingkungan sekitar kita, tapi masih dianggap sepele nih sama beberapa orang. Jadi topik ini tuh sangat berhubungan dekat dengan perempuan di kehidupan sehari-hari mereka.
Exactly. Dan tiap perempuan tuh bisa loh mengalami diskriminasi yang berbeda-beda tergantung perannya. Ada yang mahasiswa sambil part time, ada yang mahasiswa sambil content creator, dan juga ada yang mahasiswa dan aktif organisasi nih teman-teman. Kayak ujung-ujungnya tuh banyak dari mereka yang masih mengalami diskriminasi loh teman-teman.
That's why hari ini kita bakal bahas topik itu dengan 3 narasumber keren kita yang sangat-sangat menginspirasi ya tentunya ya nanti untuk melihat lebih jauh lagi tentang diskriminasi gender yang rasanya tuh nyata dan beneran terjadi di sekitar kita.
Tapi sebelum itu kita harus kenalan dulu nih sama 3 pembicara keren hebat hari ini biar tahu lebih dalam tentang mereka. Selamat datang semuanya.
Halo.
What's up, Rumis? It's pleasure for me to be here. So my name is Ais. I am a kura-kura student. Kuliah rapat since I'm joining several committee and organization.
Okay, hello Rumis. My name is Alia. I'm a college student and also active as a content creator. Don't forget to follow my channel.
Langsung promosi.
Hi Rumis, my name is Vida Abriana and I'm a college student which is also doing a part-time job during my semester break. So nice to be here everyone.
Udah ya? Alright, terima kasih banyak ke Ais dan juga Alia Frida yang sudah menyempatkan waktunya untuk hadir di podcast kita hari ini. Lanjut, kita bakal membahas apa lagi ya, Num ya?
Kita bakal banyak banget membahas hal-hal yang mereka alami selama ini,
terutama di lingkup mereka ya, di dunia mereka, terutama di sebagai mahasiswa yang sibuk organisasi, terus part time dan juga sebagai content creator. Jadi kemarin kita kan udah nge-share ya Num ya di IG kita Story Room tentang beberapa pertanyaan yang sekiranya bakal ditanyain Rumis nih kepada ketiga narasumber kita yang akan sharing pengalaman mereka di episode ini.
Bener banget, dan kita udah milih 9 pertanyaan bagus dari Rumis ini buat diajukan di sini dan dijawab oleh 3 pembicara keren kita hari ini. Langsung aja kali ya dari pertanyaan pertama, bacain Del.
Oke. Udah, bentar, kita tanya dulu nih ya sama tamu-tamu kita nih. Udah siap belum nih? Oke. Mulai dari pertanyaan pertama dari Nadia SSR ya. What was the first experience when you guys felt that you were treated differently just because you are women? In each your environments, of course.
Ais dulu mungkin.
Oke, aku jawab ya.
Ya benar.
The first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about being a woman is about our appearance. Like the one who looks better, the ones who look pretty will get more attention than others. For example, when I was volunteering in a certain committee and joining organization, I belong to a certain division, and my pretty friend in the same division get more attention, get more chance to speak up and express her idea, and of course the people around me listen to her more than myself or another friend ideas gitu.
So it feels like there is a certain gaps between the pretty
different.
one and then maybe we could say the other,
Balik lagi,
which consider not pretty.
beauty is everything ya.
Yeah, pretty is privilege. So lanjut dari Alia coba ya sebagai content creator.
Okay, for me as a travel content creator, I remember I once received unpleasant treatment when taking content. Some people who saw me when I made a video, they comment, apaan sih, apa-apa di video gak jelas banget nih orang gitu. Segala apa aja di video kayak gak ada kerjaan banget. Mbak, kamu ngerasa cantik gitu video semuanya gitu. For me, that is discrimination because are we not allowed to make video, or do we have to be beautiful to to make video? Yes, like this.
Sometimes they're so mean, you know, guys.
Yeah, like they didn't think about our feelings when they said that certain bad words.
Dari Frida mungkin.
So the first time I was ever experienced discrimination in my workplace, especially, it's sometimes women like us often usually given not an important task or a small task than the man one or someone who has a bigger position. So there was another time I don't see that women are given the job as their value. So I think they just see us women as a weaklings or else. So I think that's really rude, and also same as the others speaker here, beauty privilege is real and the workplace is harsh, and I was once experienced sexually harassed, and it's verbally of course, and it is really kurang nyaman, and that makes me feel that there's a real gap in the workplace, especially between men, women, and the higher position and the lower position, of course, and that's it.
Wah, pasti nggak nyaman banget ya sih kalau lingkungan sekitar kita malah kayak gitu.
Ya bener banget sih, lebih kayak relationship between me dan pretty friend tadi itu kayak jadi agak ada gap juga. Padahal bukan salah dia, tapi salah orang-orang yang memperlakukan kita seperti itu.
Dan itu juga kayak bakal menimbulkan kecemburuan gitu gak sih antara orang yang mungkin dipandang sebagai orang yang biasa aja sama orang yang menurut mereka cantik gitu. Jadi kayak bakal menimbulkan konflik ya mungkin ya.
Terus balik lagi kita ke pertanyaan kedua dari Cynthia SSL nih. Yang pertanyaannya, have you guys ever felt that your opinions are more easily ignored, dismissed, or explained back to you even though you already understood? And how does this usually happen in your workplace, campus, or in digital spaces, guys?
Mungkin mulai dari Frida dulu.
So yes, at work, as I said before, I've also been taught as not understanding things like my supervisor or my bosses, like when they give me a task. When it's maybe more important task, they think that I couldn't do it. So they told me like 1,000 times. It's not 1,000 times, but it's more than 3 times. So I think it's exaggerating because it's. I think he thought it's he. So sorry, it's he. He thought that I couldn't do it because I'm just a woman. I didn't understand it. So it's pretty excessive. So it's really makes me think that kenapa kayak gini ya? Kenapa ya sebagai perempuan? Kenapa mereka berpikir kayak gitu tentang kita? That's for me. Maybe other speaker have different opinions.
Mungkin aku mau nambahin, so of course in organization environment, this often happens during meetings for preparing an event. Like ketika kita rapat tuh, some people think women has a lack of power, so they don't give us chance to speak up about our ideas. And then when we try to speak up or explain the condition, the situation, or our ideas, they they instead tell us like, are you sure you understand? Terus kayak you don't need to clarify something, you don't need to explain something, just follow us gitu. We have to nurut sama mereka and with their decision. Ya.
Jadi kayak pendapat kalian tuh sering dianggap kayak ya udah gitu angin lalu gitu kan ya. Buat beberapa orang ya mungkin kebanyakan kita bisa menggarisbawahi laki-laki gitu ya. Kalau dari Alia sendiri gimana Al?
Okay, for me, yes, I have experienced that. Yes, that experience on campus or at home. I often offer my opinion on assignments or other things, such as where we wanna go, what we wanna eat, or what we are going to do next. But my opinions are often not valued and even not listened to, and this makes me feel frustrated and unappreciated.
Dari ketiga poin itu tuh kayak kesannya they kind of underestimated us gitu ya.
Yes.
Cuma karena kita tuh perempuan gitu kayak dipandang apa sih gitu, suaranya kayak di dismiss gitu lah ya. Mungkin kita bisa
Move ke
next
komentar ketiga dari siapa Kak?
dari Sylvie, nih. Oke, buat ketiga ini jadi in your opinion how much do your appearance like your clothing, attire, makeup or the way you speak affect the way people treat you in your surroundings?
So for me, how someone looks is really have big effect on we treated at work, especially like I said that first. Once of our opinions based on how we look, like they respected us more if we looks more pretty, so more I work in tourism industry, so we have to look neat and of course attractive because we meet a lot of people. But I once has this horrible experience, but this is not from the tourists themselves because it's actually from my coworker. Like,
Oh my god.
like they commented about my appearance and like I didn't look good for this job or else, and compared me to another coworker. So this is really bother me, and this make me think that appearance do really have a big effect in job industries. The others, I think they can share their.
Next for me, I think like Frida said, that appearance is really influence how people treat us, especially for me as a travel content creator. On social media, I often receive some comments about my appearance, both are positive and negative. I also feel like people often judge others based on their appearance, not on their abilities or their values. And it's like if you are beautiful, you are safe. It's like kind of beauty privilege.
Balik lagi ya ke beauty privilege lagi.
Beauty privilege.
Kalau dari Ais,
Ya, aku setuju banget with Frida and our opinion. It really affects the way people around us see or treat women. Sometimes it seems to be hidden behind jokes because we are friends, so women will consider it normal. Ya, kayak kita teman, jadi kayak dibilang tentang appearance kita tuh ya udahlah biasa aja gitu. But I'm sure it will leave at least small scars in our heart, right? So actually I'm not the one who experienced it, but I heard about it and I know about it, and cukup menyakitkan ya sebagai aku yang tahu ada pengalaman ini. Jadi ada when I join a committee, there is someone ngejek tentang appearance woman, dan itu tuh dari perempuan juga yang ngejek. Kayak ya singkatnya as she said like her clothes don't match at all. She should wear this then that and she looks like
Oh my god.
kayak ya di organisasi itu pun sesama mahasiswa masih aja ada yang mengomentari hal tersebut dan ya itu nggak dewasa banget sih sebenarnya.
That sounds really horrible.
Padahal menurut harusnya ya kalau misalnya itu tuh yang dinilai pertama tuh bukan dari ya mungkin sih penting ya dengan cara kita menampilkan how we dress up gitu kan. Tapi kan di sini esensinya Kak gimana kita membawakan diri terus personality kita itu harusnya jauh lebih penting dinilai daripada penampilan. Kayak percuma dong kita cantik gitu rapi tapi kayak ability kita, penampilan kita kurang. Kalau dari Yana gimana?
Kayak apa ya? Mereka tuh dengan santai ngomong kalau ini gini di depan orangnya langsung, padahal tanpa mereka sadar itu kayak bisa aja perkataan itu terulang-ulang di otak orang yang kita omongin kayak gitu kan, itu kesannya nyakitin hati orang nggak sih?
That's right. It's really
Kayak itu nggak adil, unfair standard gitu. Dan
Mungkin bisa ke pertanyaan keempat nih dari Kak Rini Nur. What kind of treatment do you often receive in public spaces on social media that makes you think, why I am being treated like this? And is it different between offline and online worlds? Bagus nih pertanyaannya Kak Rini Nur.
Iya.
Okay, so I think they are both the same. As Frida said before, as students sometimes we also experience catcalling. Like we dress up, kita tuh dandan ya karena kita pengen, because we love ourselves, we want to appreciate ourselves, respect ourselves, but sometimes justru kita tuh malah mendapatkan catcalling dari other students or society that makes us feel like ya udahlah aku tampil biasa aja daripada aku diperlakukan seperti ini.
Ya aku mau nanggap ini tentang itu kayak padahal kita bisa menanamkan pikiran gini ya di diri kita. Oh mungkin dia baru belajar nih cara kayak matchingin outfit mereka. Tapi kayak mereka instead of think of that way, but they think to underestimate how do we present ourselves in front of them. Kayak itu bisa dialihkan ke hal positif, tapi sayangnya mereka belum bisa untuk mengambil hal positif dari itu gitu. Dari mungkin dari Alia sebagai content creator nih.
For me, actually I'm not often, but I have experienced that. There have been comments about my appearance, some even insulting. Yes, insulting. In public, I also often receive uncomfortable stares or same as eyes, catcalling. And I think the treatment in real life is more scarier than on social media, because in real world we meet a person in real person, but on social media we just see the comments, not them in person.
Oh, serem juga ya kalau kayak gitu. Kalau dari Frida dulu gimana nih sebelum aku komen?
We have already talked before, but in my opinion, from publics, like in real life and in social media, I think it's the same, both the same. Like our appearance is the first thing they look at, the first thing they commented at, and I think it's people will always treat us differently based on how we look, and it's really uncomfortable. And this is making me think that this mindset can be changed, because it's not just our appearance. Maybe they didn't know us, they just see our like first time meeting us, but they already commented harsh, and I think this has to be changed.
Setuju banget sih. Padahal tuh ada konsep bagus yang kayak bukan protect your daughter tapi educate your son gitu loh kayak.
But it's not just son, but it's from everyone, because women also do that, I think.
Nah itu yang bikin miris sih Kak.
Yeah.
Kita sama
Bener sih, sama gender
perempuan gitu harusnya kayak women support women gitu
Yes.
kan. Yang harusnya ya kita harapkan semuanya. Tapi kayak ternyata di lapangan
women insult women.
That's right.
mana kayak kita nggak mendapat apa sih namanya kayak dukungan
Yes,
tempat
the support.
safe place.
Yes.
Iya.
Because it's maybe from jealousy, I think. So I think it is. We have to build our values first. I think it's understandable. We have to respect other, and that's for me.
Tapi walaupun nggak punya value pun kita juga tetap harus dihormatin, nggak boleh kayak dia value-nya tinggi, kita nggak boleh kayak gini. Terus yang lainnya gimana ya?
Kayak menurut kalian tuh dari dunia media online juga offline tuh yang paling menusuk atau the most horrible comments or apa ya namanya kayak insults itu dari mana sih datangnya, kayak online atau dunia offline gitu, atau secara langsung nih misal kita ada pada depan gini langsung sih?
Ya kalau bagi aku sih langsung ya, karena kalau langsung itu kayak orang-orang bisa berbuat hal-hal yang nggak bagus, misal kekerasan, tapi itu bisa langsung. Kalau misal komen kan itu kita hanya dapat dapat komennya aja kan, paling ya parah-parahnya mengancam mental health kita sih, sama nanti ada ancaman yang masuk. Tapi menurut saya, in my opinion, it is lebih scary di in real world.
Kalau menurut aku sih sebenarnya sama aja ya. Karena kayak apalagi seorang perempuan tuh sangat rely on feelings. Even though itu in person, directly or indirectly, itu tuh will leave luka di hatinya. Apalagi
Makanya kayak ada perempuan itu baca nada gitu kan, kayak nada chat itu pasti kita bacanya dengan nada gitu kan. Pesan ya. Ada di video gitu gimana, online atau offline?
I think because I'm working like offline in the field, so one example of the discrimination I think that I have experienced is when people have commented on my face. So it is usually about my pimples or the fact that my skin color is more darker than other people, which is I think then skin is so beautiful, we're so pretty with a different warna kulit kan. But I have been compared to my sister, which is she's a lot prettier. I really love her. She's so pretty, but even when we are sister, the comparison between me and my sister, like kecantikan kakak kamu sih, kok kamu beda ya sama kakak kamu, that's really make me insecure. So I really think that, like Alia said, real life comments really the harsh thing I've ever received. So that's really hurtful more than the commented one.
Jadi kayak lebih menyakitkan secara real, secara asli gitu, live-nya gitu. Oke. Next ya,
Bentar, kayak apa ya? Padahal tuh kayak kenapa sih mereka harus menjudge orang berdasarkan fisiknya tuh kayak sangat-sangat gak etis banget sih menurutku.
Iya benar-benar.
Next siapa nih yang baca komennya?
Aku boleh nih,
Boleh.
Yang dari siapa ya ini? Kak Cinta. Oke, Kak Cinta nanya nih. What kind of subtle comments do you experience most often? Or how do you usually respond to those comments, guys?
So maybe starting for me ya.
Okay.
I receive in my videos, I receive comments like, kamu terlalu mandiri buat seukuran perempuan, atau enggak Mbak, kamu itu emang kamu merasa cantik ya apa-apa di video, or like kamu nggak kayak wanita kebanyakan gitu. Kayak ada perbedaan dari diri aku, tapi they not give me known what
What is the difference?
what's the difference from me and the other. And these comments, several comments are actually good, and yes, there is ada buruknya juga, but they seem that the good comment is they seem to belittle us as women, and I usually respond that comment by validating that women don't always have to depend on men, and that it is important for women to be independent and support ourselves.
Independent women.
Kak Frida mau nambahin nih?
So as I said before, because I have experience in real life, so I just like nodding, like responding them by nodding or just like smile, yeah, gitu. Because what can I say? It's this is the reality. So, but why they have to like comment it on that really in my face, like why you look like that, why you different? It's not necessary. Maybe they can say nicer things like, oh, maybe you can try this, maybe you can go to there, like, or you can use this, or etc. Or oh, you have a different from your sister. That's nice. Or a nicest thing, or else something else, not a harsh comment like that. So I just smile.
But I would like to ask, have you ever tried to defend yourself by confronting back them, oppose them back gitu kayak confront apa ya secara langsung gitu di depan mereka kayak menegur gitu lah kayak itu tuh it should not be done by you in this in front of my face itu gak sopan.
No, I haven't because I think because I'm a woman like that, and again, the one who commended me is a man, and he has a lot of more position, like higher position than me, because I'm a just part timer, of course. So I think, what can I say? Because we don't have power, and they don't listen to women.
Yeah.
That's I don't defend myself so often because I think it's unnecessary. But I really suggesting other people like Alia. She's a really brave. She's commented back, and I think that's a really nice example to defend yourself. It's really a great example. It's really necessary, and I really wish that I could do that.
Keren banget. Kayak Rumis di rumah tuh bisa nyontoh nih dari ketiga narasumber kita yang keren-keren. Kalau dia guys gimana guys?
Once I received a comments related the emotion as a woman, kayak dibilang when we do the project, kayak aku tuh bilang kamu tuh kalau kerjanya nggak pakai perasaan pasti bisa lebih cepat. It's really like I'm crying actually. Jadi kayak apakah salah gitu ya menggunakan perasaan kayak padahal tuh maksud aku adalah untuk apa ya considering dulu gitu loh sebelum deciding something. But they think that I use a lot of feelings in did the project. Kayak ya aku aja dikuat-kuatin ya sabar-sabarin but sometimes their advice is really helpful and I know it but I need time to think about it twice and kayak ya nggak bisa buru-buru untuk ngambil keputusan because there's a lot of things that we have to consider.
Sedih banget sih kalau kita di komen kayak gitu karena kayak kita tuh pasti jadi kepikiran gitu loh kayak apa iya ya padahal tuh sebenarnya kita nggak salah tapi karena omongan dari orang di luar sana tuh jadi bikin kita mikir lagi gitu loh.
Iya benar banget apalagi perempuan tuh
Perasa
tipe manusia yang perasa gitu daripada mereka yang di luar sana yang mungkin menggunakan logika gitu kayak kita lebih gampang memproses sesuatu tuh yang pertama itu perasaan dulu ya kayak baca tuh waduh sedih langsung nangis gitu kan kayak gak bisa langsung berpikir secara logisnya gitu.
Nah, next nyambung nih ke pertanyaannya Harshita dari komentar kalian sebelumnya nih. Kalau kalian lihat pengalaman dari masing-masing tentang yang habis apa ya dikomenin kayak gitu, menurut kalian tuh apa sih persamaan dan perbedaan perlakuan yang kalian alami di profesi atau latar kuliah kalian?
Kalau mungkin dirangkum gitu ya jadi satu kalimat, I would say that it's always related to the physical and mental of women. Kayak ya pengalaman tadi yang kayak tentang fisik yang pertama kita bahas terus nyambung ke pengalaman aku yang berkaitan banget sama emotion.
Okay, for me, maybe we are often underestimated and told that we women are weak and can do anything. Itu aja sih.
So as have we talked about it before, the two same things that relates our experiences is physicals, like it's always our physique first, and then our mentals, and they underestimate us as a women, as in general, like always, because we are women, we are weaker, we are more emotional, we have to be more prettier because we are just women, when men can do anything like they want, like if they don't look good, they don't look better, they work worse than us, but they still got appreciated because they are just a man. So I think that's the similarity between our experiences.
So the core issue or the core effect to the women out there is similar, even though the fields are different ya. Ya, walaupun kalian datang dari background yang berbeda tuh, tapi efek yang kalian dapat dari diskriminasi itu tuh bakal sama gitu intinya kan ya.
Mungkin kayak cara pendiskriminasiannya aja yang berbeda, tapi ya itu balik lagi tentang fisik sama mental dan
Ya cuma bisa aja, tapi mental kita juga kena gitu. Apalagi lebih ya.
Tapi itu kayak membentuk diri kita jadi lebih kuat lagi gitu ya. Ini masih bekas semua.
Stronger.
Awal-awal tuh kan kita kayak udah mau lemes, tapi sekarang kayak udah lah, mungkin udah mulai biasa gitu ya.
The scars build us.
Tapi harusnya itu nggak boleh dibiasain sih. Orang nggak boleh kayak gitu buat
nggak boleh.
jadi hal yang biasa.
Oke. Kita lanjut nih dari pertanyaan sebelumnya. Selanjutnya dari siapa ya ini ya? Anonim nih Kak. Langsung aja ya. Okay. How have these experiences affected you personally? For example, your confidence, your sense of safety, and then the way you carry yourself in front of those out there. Mungkin dari Frida dulu yang siap nih kayak.
Sorry. So those experiences really had a big effect on me, like how I feel about myself, especially my physics, and how safe I feel. Because after being sexually harassed like that, like I have told you before from the first questions, those really commented about my physique, about how my body is, and that makes me really aware of my clothes. So I wear more like a baggy clothes, even if it is so hot in this weather. So I think I've usually use like more baggy, and now I do a lot of makeup. I really think that makeup is uncomfortable, but because they have commented on my face, they have commented on my body, I be more like strict about my appearance, because the first thing they will comment I was always in my appearance. So I feel like I'm not being myself with doing makeup more or dressing like the way I don't want it, because it is really hot, and I don't really like that. So it is really hard to do, and I think I have to do that more often, because I think people doesn't want to change, and they will comment to our experience. And the others
Kayak membatasi itu ya. Komenan mereka tuh kayak membatasi gimana secara kita nanti bakal bawain, kayak kita udah dari awal udah takut nanti bakal komen gimana gitu.
Setuju banget sih. Aku kayak sebagai perempuan pun juga kayak kadang emang kalau mana-mana harus make up gitu, kayak itu tapi itu dulu awal-awalnya mungkin karena kayak mungkin mereka bakal komen, mungkin mereka bakal gini-gini, tapi mungkin mulai sekarang udah kayak ya udahlah, terbiasa gitu.
Kan kita juga do those makeups just for us to membawakan diri kita gitu,
Bukan buat orang lain.
Iya benar banget, bukan buat mereka gitu ya.
Mindsetnya udah berubah mungkin ya, karena dulu kita make up buat biar orang lain gini atau biar kita diginiin, tapi kalau sekarang kayak ya udah kita make up buat diri kita sendiri.
But I think it's not our mindset who change, it's their mindset. It is they have to think that our wills. We have to do makeup or not, or we have to look pretty or not, because it's based on our uncomfortability. We're comfortable or not. So it's really our mindset and of course their mindset too. But that's really affected me because I really don't like to use makeup.
Sama-sama ditangani ya.
And the others, I think, gimana?
Oh, dari Ais.
Kan selama berorganisasi, when I got the treatment and comments like that yang relates to the emotional, as a emotional person, kayak, dan juga perbedaan diperlakukan tadi itu kayak pertamanya tuh ngerasa kayak apakah aku tuh terlihat di mata mereka, terus am I capable enough, terus
You are capable.
thank you. Yang kayak capek juga sih ngejalanin tanggung jawab sendirian, but no one appreciate it or no one see me. But tadi yang Hanum bilang it makes stronger, ya practice makes perfect. Kayak ya several times experience that things. I mean it made me realize and understand that maybe we have to love ourselves more. We have to trust ourselves more because we don't have to look good in everyone's eyes, in every man's eyes, and we will be seen as an extraordinary person in the right people, in the right man.
Kata-kata hari ini. Keren banget ya Ais ya.
Dari Alian sendiri gimana?
Dari Amal.
Okay, from me at first, the discrimination experience or the comment hujatan like that, it make my spirit drop. But finally, I try to get up, and it has made me stronger and more confident. And I have learned also to stay positive and not let negative comments affect me, especially for my mental health, because mental health is everything. Yes, and I also think the discrimination experience or the bad comments, it has made me more mindful of my actions.
Iya, walaupun kayak di akhir mungkin kita bisa belajar dari diskriminasi, hujatan, comments yang buruk-buruk itu, tapi di awal kan pasti kita bakal bener ya, depressed, bener banget, stress gitu ya, terluka dulu sebelum kayak kita bisa survive.
Bener banget yang ada bilang. Terus selanjutnya ada pertanyaan dari Kak Gita, menarik nih. When you face discrimination or unfair treatment, what do you usually do and what kind of support has been the most helpful for you so far?
Maybe Alia first, okay. For me, when that happens, I usually seek support from my best friends and my family untuk mencari tempat ternyaman gitu. And when I think when someone listens to our complaints and they support us, it feels like everything will be okay and we will be stronger and can face the cruelties of this world, especially for us as women that yang sering mengalami diskriminasi atau hal-hal yang kurang mengenakan.
Ya, cerita dengan orang tuh is really needed, very very needed in this
Tempat cerita aja yang penting.
Kita nggak bisa mendem terus gitu kan.
Pokoknya orang tuh bakal ke blow out gitu pas di akhir dan buat kita kayak
Atau bahkan ke blow out di orang yang salah gitu. Jadi kayak kita
bentar kita mending cerita aja ya ke orang.
And don't avoid it.
avoidant is
Avoidant, no.
Kalau dari Ais mungkin ya.
Mungkin kalau di organisasi sendiri, I will bener banget cari friend, tapi yang outside the organization. I tell my best friend everything that makes me hurt. Ya, yang dia seneng sukanya aku ceritain semuanya. Ya, because I just need their ears to listen to me. I need their shoulder to lean on. I need their presence ya, their presence kayak to stay beside me, and it's okay to cry because crying mengeluarkan the painful feeling, and benar-benar support system dari friend itu is important thing when we experience the discrimination or other bad treatment.
Setuju sih. Kalau dari Frida, bentar. Oh iya, dari sejauh ini ya, dari kalian berdua ini pernah nggak kayak pengen, aku rasanya pengen mendem aja nih, udah capek gitu cerita sama orang baru gitu, kayak secara mentally kalian belum bisa siap gitu lah untuk cerita. Pernah nggak sih ngerasain kayak gitu?
Kalau dari aku sendiri ya, kalau misalnya di posisi aku benar-benar nggak bisa nyeritain, udah muak nyeritain ke orang-orang, itu paling aku lebih ke me time aja sih. Nikmatin quality time. Bisa, aku kan travel content creator nih, bisa jalan-jalan terus nanti jalan-jalan sendirian atau enggak cari tempat makan baru nih gitu kan, jadi kayak dengan meluapkannya ke hal yang aku suka, jadi kayak lambat laun ke ke distract, jadi nggak keinget lagi.
Benar sih.
That's fun. Setuju sih sama Al ya. Cuman emang aku pernah kayak lebih memilih untuk mendem karena aku cerita itu terus gitu. Jadi kayak ya udahlah, gak apa-apa aku pendem, tapi tuh emang lama-kelamaan ya kayak itu tuh hilang sendiri karena jadi udah terbiasa.
No, it's not hilang. It's just there, but you choose to ignore it.
Tersembunyi ya, dalam banget.
Kalau dari Frida gimana, Frida?
For me, because it's in a workplace, I really want to tell my supervisor. And at that time, I know my supervisor she's really nice. I worked in the two different places, and the first place is men actually, and the second place is women. And I really want to tell them about the sexual harassment I've experienced, but it's just verbally. I don't have any proof of it. I don't have any evidence about it. So it just the hurt in my chest, in my feelings that proof about the harassment about it. So I cannot do anything. So I just to stay silent, and I have memendam perasaan itu sampai in not a really long time, but it's in such a long. It's not that long, but I think it's a long time before I have to open up to my friend, before I open up to my family, because it's not a really nice experience, and I think they would be worried more, and I don't wanna make them worried about me because it has already happened in the past and I cannot do anything about it. So their support is really helpful, but I think I needed time to process it first before I told them. So I think that telling that to our closest people is more harder than doing it to like this. Doing this podcast really helped me to tell other people, especially the viewers, about my feelings. And I hope they will understand, or they will seek a better help than me, because you have to encourage yourself to seek more help, because it is really important for your mental health and your feelings, because it is really really bad experience, and then you should seek for yourself. That's all for me.
Keren banget. Dengerin ya Rumis. Jangan pernah takut buat cerita ke orang selagi kalian tuh pengen nyeritain gitu.
Jangan dipendam sendiri, Rumis.
So Rumis di rumah jangan sedih terus ya. Kalau sedih cerita ke orang ya. Cari orang yang benar. Oke, lanjut nih ke pertanyaan terakhir ya, Nung ya.
Iya,
Udah terakhir aja nih.
seru ini ternyata.
Iya. Dari Kak Karin nih, dia tanya, if there is one thing about the way people treat women that you wish you could change, what would that be? Mungkin mulai dari siapa dulu nih? Icy.
Interesting question. Mungkin kayak endingnya nih harus ditutup dengan seperti ini. I wish I could change their mindset. Kayak their mindset is the first, the fundamental and the basic how people will behave or will speak up about something, then etc. Because this world will be beautiful when we can love each other, we can respect each other without a certain reason. Ya, kita menerima semuanya dengan apa adanya. Dan if we can do that, I think we can make menguatkan satu sama lain, support each other. So the first thing that we have to change and perbaiki adalah mindset kita, mindset mereka. And ini nggak akan bisa berjalan if only satu sisi, one side. Ya, it must be sejalan tuh between dua arah, both sides gitu. Jadi mindset is so important.
Kalau dari Alia gimana?
Okay, from me, like I say that I also want people to stop viewing women as weak or as an object. I want people to treat women with respect and give them the same opportunities as men to continue growing and achieving our dreams.
Same as Alia. I hope that, and Ais, of course, I hope that one thing that is to stop and have to change is the way everyone is treating women like objects, like Alia said. We have to look beautiful, but they still treat us badly because just we are women, and as I say, we are more lebih perasa, and because we use our feelings much more, so they think us like dia perasa sih, dia kayak dia nggak logical sih gitu. So I think our mindset, like I said, it have to change, but they have to change their mindset about us as women, as we are not just an object. So I hope the beauty standards also change because that's really affected me. So I hope the beauty standard that this world created, or of course in our environment, in work environment, have to change because people have to see us or what we are, not just our appearance, not just beauty. They have to see us from inside out, like our appearance, our values, our feelings, all of that. They have to accept us no matter what we are, and be kind. We have to be kind to each other, understanding each other, respecting each other. And if you can say a nice thing about some people, you do it. You just no. If you cannot say nice thing, you have to be silent.
Iya, benar banget ya.
Yes, better be silent.
Diam adalah emas.
Daripada nanti lidah kita menyakiti perasaan orang ya.
That's right.
Dia bener banget nih kata Ais, kalau misalnya yang pertama kita rubah tuh cuma kita rubah semuanya, tapi mindset kita tetap stuck di kayak hal kayak gitu, pasti semuanya juga gak akan bisa gitu kan. Iya, harapan tentu ya Rumis ya, harapan perempuan-perempuan hebat itu tuh bukan sekedar apa ya namanya kayak wish gitu ya di masa depan, tapi itu tuh hal yang sangat-sangat mungkin untuk bisa direalisasikan, bukan cuma dari perempuan tapi juga laki-laki juga gitu.
Benar, Rumis di sini kan nggak cuma kayak cewek doang kan yang nonton, pasti banyak cowok
Cowoknya
yang sana.
juga.
Tolong ya, kalian harus lebih aware, rubah mindset
pacar-pacarnya.
kalian.
Kalian jadi orang pertama yang mengubah mindset.
Iya, benar.
Dapetin.
Karena something is big, it start from the small one.
Benar.
Yes. Kita harus awareness, respect, dan kind juga, benar kata Kak Frida.
Iya, harus saling menghargai gitu ya. Kita sama-sama perempuan ya, apalagi ya kalau kita nggak bisa saling melindungi, setidaknya menghargai lah ya satu sama lain gitu.
Setelah dengar dari ketiga tamu ini hari ini tuh kita jadi makin sadar kalau diskriminasi itu nyata dan ada di banyak ruang gitu loh guys. Entah itu di kampus, di tempat kerja maupun di media sosial, bahkan masih ada diskriminasi kayak gitu. Dan rasanya tuh bikin nggak nyaman dan tentunya bikin kita tuh meragukan diri kita sendiri, Rumis.
Oke, betul banget ya yang dibilang tiga tamu kita ini yang sangat-sangat hebat dan juga berani gitu. Kayak ini semua tuh berat tapi mereka bisa sampai di titik ini, bisa menerima dan juga memberikan kita pesan gitu, dan juga harapan untuk rumis-rumis di luar sana supaya enggak menjadi the next discriminator di luar sana.
Bener.
Ya mungkin akan membawa dampak yang buruk buat kedepannya gitu ya. Oke, buat aku pribadi nih, dari cerita kita hari itu membawa banyak manfaat ya bagi kita, nggak cuma dari buat cowok di luar sana, tapi juga cewek yang terutama kita dengar dari pengalaman mereka tuh yang melakukan diskriminasi itu nggak cuma cowok gitu, tapi cewek juga. Jadi mungkin dari podcast ini kita bisa ngambil suatu suatu manfaat lah, nilai moral gitu yang bisa kita terapkan ke depannya untuk rumis-rumis di luar sana terutama.
Buat rumis di luar sana, semoga episode ini tuh bisa bikin kalian tuh lebih peka dan aware terhadap hal-hal yang paling kecil aja, yaitu komen buat seseorang itu kadang akan terulang-ulang di pikiran mereka. Kalian harus lebih aware akan hal itu. Jadi kayak daripada mending kalian komen yang mungkin kalian mikir ini tuh harus dikomen biar mereka tuh paham, biar mereka enggak, mending kalian diam aja udah. Diam adalah emas guys.
Iya benar ya, kayak tadi juga.
ngejudge.
Oke, thank you banget ya buat Ais, Alia dan juga Frida yang sudah jauh-jauh datang ke podcast ini di episode kali ini untuk menyampaikan pengalaman mereka. Itu sangat-sangat berarti ya buat kita ya, terutama ya Num ya.
Dan juga buat rumis di luar sana, terima kasih banget udah nemenin kita sampai sesi akhir ini. Jangan lupa share episode ini buat rekan-rekan semuanya biar kalian semua tuh lebih aware lagi ke depannya. See you in the next video.
See you.
This is Story Room.
One room, many